All right, HBCU legends, fans, as well as the Black Sports Insiders. It's Kyle T. Mosley here with my main man, Mr. Ray Rogers. What's going on, Ray?
Happy New Year, brother. I haven't seen you yet since it's been 2025, so it's good to be back on with the Black Sports Insiders and yourself, sir.
Oh, man, look, you guys have been busy. You and Wale, y'all been all over the place. Y'all had the Washington Commanders. Y'all hopping over into DMV. Didn't even invite the brother to try to come on any of the shows. Y'all said, forget Kyle. Y'all were just doing your thing, man. But I'm proud to see what you guys were doing. I know you guys also were doing some boxing and other sporting events, some HBCU events as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that tonight, guys, and we'll also talk about some HBCU sports tonight. We got some a rundown. We got special guest Kendra Bulluck-Major, who is the executive director of the Orange Blossom Classic. She's going to be a guest interview with us tonight. As well as we got Brian Davis, correct, from Howard University. He's the assistant basketball coach there, and he is going to join us live in the studio tonight. So, Ray, what's happening with the MEAC before we get into our live interview? The MEAC is burning. Norfolk State is setting everything ablaze on both sides, the men's as well as the women's side. So talk a little bit about them. Ray? Uh-oh. Like we lost Ray for a quick sec. We'll be back with Ray, but let's talk about some hot news that came off the press this week. We have Grambling State University as well as Jackson State. The announcement came down that these two will be playing in October at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Man, that's going to be a great one to be able to have those two storied programs out there in Vegas, get to go have a good time, gamble a little bit, and enjoy the nightlife and the scene in Vegas. So that should be really good. We talked about A.D. Robinson being able to put that together with A.D. Scott over at Grambling State University to have those two programs, storied programs there in Las Vegas. That's going to be a first of its kind. And what's your thoughts about that out there, guys? Do you believe it's going to be one of those great events? I think so. You talk about Mickey Joseph in his second year. You talk about the national champions from Jackson State University. Those guys are going to be out there playing in front of a national audience. Now, will this be picked up by, let's say, the ESPN networks or the Disney networks? Don't know yet all the full details, but that should be on the horizon pretty soon. So we'll get more information about that as well. Let's see. All right, got you back in.
Technology,
man. You never know. You had that frozen look.
I know where you were frozen on my end for a while, and I'm like, but it's all good.
It's all good now, right? All right, talk to me about what's happening in the MEAC. Okay, Ray. Let's get him back out. Okay, so if you guys don't know, right now in the MEAC, Norfolk State is number one in both the men's and as well as the women's side of the basketball slate. They have Diamond Johnson, the women's star. She has really set the league ablaze once again. Let's see if we get Ray back in. Nope. All right. So right now, if you look at Diamond Johnson, they're doing tremendously well. You look at what's happening on the men's side. They had a big win as well. I think they defeated Howard recently, right? So all of these basketball games are very important right now. We're in the conference side of games. Then we turn our attention to the SWAC, which is interesting because two teams on both the men's and the women's side are really dominating at this time. Let's start off with the men's, where you have the Jaguars of Southern University are sitting atop, undefeated in the conference, and nipping at their heels are the Tigers of Texas Southern. Johnny Jones and his crew, the only loss that they have on the season is to the Jaguars. Then on the women's side, of complete surprise, a lot of people did not have this program on their radar, where you have the women of Texas Southern University who are gaining ground right now. They're undefeated in the SWAC. I think they're 7-0, undefeated. They went into Alabama, defeated Dawn Thornton and Alabama A&M. Alicia Wilson and those guys, they kind of held her in check most of the game until the fourth quarter. Then you have on the Alabama State team, those guys were a part of that run as well. They defeated the Alabama State team. Ray, talk a little bit about what happened in the SWAC this weekend. All right. And then you had the Alabama A&M men and Alabama State men's side. They went down to Texas Southern men's squad as well. So the Texas Southern Tigers came out of Alabama doing the two-step and defeating all these guys. How do you feel about that, Ray? Oh, we got Ray frozen again. All right, KT will just take it myself. So right now, it just looks very, very good for what's happening with Texas Southern University. And I know it's been a long time coming, because although Johnny Jones has won, the Texas Southern basketball team has won the SWAC tournaments over the years and represented in the SWAC tournament, except last season, where Grambling was able to take it and go and win the first game, the play-in game, and then they were able to go and they lost the second game. But it doesn't matter. These are some good competitive programs, and they're doing very well here in the Houston area. Very excited about what's going to happen. Now, this weekend, there's going to be quite a showdown against the crosstown rival Prairie View at HPNE Arena in Houston. So, guys, get your tickets, get your popcorn, get everything ready to be able to see what's happening with Texas Southern versus Prairie View, where both of those guys take their great records and put it against the rivals. Will they come out unblemished? We shall see. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Let's see if we can get Ray to get his system squared away, but we'll be back in 2 and 2. So listen to these messages from our sponsors.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
Something amazing is happening here. The next era of AI has arrived. CDW data engineers are helping organizations harness the power of AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. The power to run workloads faster means greater performance, giving your team a better shot at success. Make amazing happen. CDW.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday. I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me to you.
I am genius.
All right, Kyle D. Mosley of the Black Sports Insiders back with you tonight. And Ray, how you doing, man? You better?
I hope I'm here for good this time.
The joys of modern technology, right?
I tell you, man, it happens. But I'm glad to be here with you and good to see you again.
Okay. Before we welcome our guest into the program, and we were talking a little bit about the SWAC women as well as the MEAC women. Of course, you know Diamond Johnson very well from Norfolk State, and Coach Vickers over there with his program. They're doing a tremendous job. Before we get into our next guest, we don't want to, because he's a Bison, so we don't want him to come in and try to start no stuff on the men's side, you know, get it popping with Coach Blakeney and those guys. But we'll talk a little bit more in depth about what's happening with the MEAC. But are you surprised to see what's happening with Texas Southern University women's program right now being undefeated in the SWAC?
I feel like it's a testament to what they're building there. I think that the foundation was set in the off season, and now it's paying dividends. And they're one of the toughest teams in HBCU basketball. Like the way they approach the game, I think that's what's giving them the edge over other programs, because they come out to win. They come out for your throat.
Yeah. Look, Coach Vernette Skeet told me, she said, Kyle, I created this offense. It's called the Flux offense. And it's about scoring, being able to adapt to your different defenses in different situations. And those ladies are really doing a tremendous job. Everybody thought since Tamika Reed was out of the conference over at Jackson State, the Coach Richard of Jackson State, who's now there, or Dawn Thornton was going to just run amok in the SWAC for the ladies. Well, she is proving them much different. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But let's welcome our guest onto the show tonight, Coach Davis of Howard University.
What up,
How you doing?
What's up, fellas? What's good? What's good?
What's going on, Coach? I'm Kyle T. Mosley. Of course, you know Ray Rogers, man. Coach, we are great to have you here. What's happening with the Bison right now?
Man, you know, we're in the middle of grind season. You know, we middle of conference play, and every game is tough, but you know, it's prep, play. You know, film, you know, workouts, individuals, class. You might get to eat, you know, you might not. This is how this business go. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and we're in the middle of grind season.
Well, if you talk about middle ground season, hold on, Coach. I apologize. What's going on here?
You can play musical screens over here.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's what I wanted to give you more comments.
Yeah, put me on the big screen, baby.
That's right. Yeah, you don't need to see you don't need to see my big head, Coach. But
everybody here black and beautiful, man. We all black and beautiful.
But right down in DC, man, you guys had a couple of hard losses, right? Especially to my alma mater, Morehouse College. And but talk about how you guys handle the losses and what's been going on, because you also lost to Bowie State, and those were kind of concerns from the people outside looking in. How are you guys handling that with the young men?
Well, you might need to speak to Coach Blakeney about that one.
That's the men's side, Kyle.
But you know, we do have.
Okay, well, that's okay. I mean,
we can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Shout out to KB. Shout out to Coach Ty. you know, Coach Rod, Steve, you know, Dan, they do an amazing job over there. You know, they built an amazing culture with those guys. It's not just about basketball with their team, which I love. I mean, those guys are always in the community. They're always on campus. So, you know, you see the coaches and the players on a regular basis. So, you know, they hit a little rough patch, man. You know, you talk about, I mean, they got 4 starters out. They got 4 starters out. That's hard to make up. And you know, shout out to Morehouse and Bowie State, man. They came in and played well and won those games. And both games were really exciting to watch. You know what I mean? As a fan, you know, of course, as a coach, I know KB and them want to win that game, win those games. But yeah, man, you know, that's what we get at Howard, man. We get everybody's best shot. I mean, everybody, every single time, you know, from Bowie State to State. You know, it don't matter. It can be statetech.com university, you know.
Hey, look, I think you're besmirching the name of Morehouse now.
No,
you're trying to put us into that little microcosm.
Never. All love for Morehouse. I had some cousins that went to Spelman. I got one of my young boys at Morehouse now.
Oh, really?
That's down there. He's a freshman.
All right.
So, you know, it's all love at the end of the day.
All right. Let's turn to your program. I apologize. I thought you were on the men's side there.
That's
man.
all right. That's all right. That's all right.
The Howard women, you guys are at 3-1 right now in the MEAC, right? Mm-hmm. And right there, you have that power. We were talking about Diamond Johnson and what those guys over at Norfolk is doing. How the ladies handling everything? Was your one loss to Norfolk?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, so we just lost to them last Saturday. A pretty competitive contest. I mean, we were up at halftime, and Norfolk State came out in the second half and, you know, showed why they are who they are. You know, they really took it to us in the second half, and we didn't really respond the way we wanted to, and, you know, they ended up winning the game.
Okay. And as far as some of your stars on the team, who are some of the people we need to get their names out there and let the nation know who they are?
Yeah, of course, we have some, you know, we got a very, of course, you got to start with Destiny Howell. You know, she's been a perennial powerhouse for our team, very productive over many years with us. She's coming off an ACL injury, so she's coming back strong. She, you know, of course, leads us in scoring again. I mean, she's been leading us in scoring for a long time. So you got to start there. Destiny paces us, you know, on the court and off the court. So, she, you know, she's a future pro. You know, she's different. She's different. The kid works hard. You know, she has a great attitude. And so, you know, she has a bright future. So we're going to start with Destiny Howell. Then you go to, you know, you got a transfer from Kentucky. You know, Z Thomas, kid that we recruited out of high school, actually, you know, tried to get her out of high school.
Okay.
You know, caught her on the back end at the Hey Big Head text out the portal when she hit the portal. So, you know, she came in, she's been very productive. You know, she's almost averaging double-double. So she plugged right in for us. She's having a great time at Howard. She's been, you know, diving into our culture here and she's loving it. You know, then we got an impact freshman, Sanaya King. I mean, this kid is just, she's an all-star in the making. I mean, she's just a star, you know, great attitude, great family. She's from DC. Her mom went to Howard, her aunt went to Howard. So she's born and bred. She actually went to high school at Bishop Ireton, right there in Alexandria, right outside the city.
Good program.
She was born in DC.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. You guys got a good mix there. And when you look at the next couple of games that you guys are going to be playing, because I think you have South Carolina State up as well as NCCU. Talk about those matchups.
Yeah, I mean, you know, South Carolina State's next. We play them on Monday, the 3rd, back in Burr. I know I'm gonna see Ray in the building. Yeah, we just want to bring a good crowd. You know, we want the fans to come out. We've been having great crowds this year for our games. South Carolina State, they're gonna play tough. You know, we know we gonna get their best shot. You know, we know they gonna come prepared. You know, watching them on tape, you know, they don't quit. You know, they might not have won a lot of games, but there's no quit in that team. So, you know, we got to come with our best effort in order to come away with the win.
All right. Awesome. Ray?
Well, Coach, first of all, it's good to always chop it up with you. And I think it's a blessing because the Norfolk Howard game was the most anticipated game in the MEAC this season on the women's side, which I thought was cool. And you all were leading at halftime. You felt confident going into that game because your familiarity. That's the measuring stick right there. They're at the top of the conference right now.
Absolutely.
But I think your focus is good because you're still looking at these other opponents where you know how the MEAC is. It's tough no matter what team you're playing against. So how do you keep your players focused though? I know Coach Ty definitely is big on, we're always teaching, always learning. We got to make sure we stay locked in. Coppin was a tough matchup. They led for most of that game. So how do you keep your players locked in for the whole MEAC grind?
Yeah, we should continue to put our energy into our players, into our program. That's really the focus. We try not to focus on anybody else because if we know if we come prepared, then we're gonna have a good chance to win. With our talent, with the coach's preparation, with our game plan and our scheming, Coach Ty leading us, and so I think if we always focus on that, if we always focus on ourselves and what we need to improve. When we watch the tape, we look at what we need to do better. Coming into the even going into the next game, what can we improve on? What are we struggling with? And we attack those things in practice. So we want to be playing our best basketball at the end of the year. We're a one bid league, so all we need is that 3-game winning streak. That's it. Ain't nobody gonna care about none of those losses early in the season. Nobody gonna care. You get that 3-game winning streak, you champions.
You know all about that. I want to ask about the lineups because I asked you last week on the coach's call. You got Janiyah, who I think she's earning her playing time at this point. Athletic. I know she can always work on, decision making, maybe IQ. You can coach her up, but you got Niall, who's also playing well. How does that work? I think Tiana too is finding her groove in her sophomore year. So how does that work in terms of lineups and how you find the right mix to stay on the court and sustain that success that can get you those W's?
Yeah, I mean, we traditionally played a lot of players. Coach Ty's played a lot of players in each game. So a lot of kids in the rotation, they know they're gonna get in eventually. And we just want them to go in there and be productive. You talked about Tiana. Tiana's coming. She's coming. She works hard. She's been in the gym. We worked out with her today. She's probably gonna work out on the day off tomorrow. But we're coming. We got some people that we want to step up and play more. So when they get their opportunity, which they will, we want them to get in there and do well. So, I think we got a good group overall. For the most part, they get along and we haven't had a whole lot of issues with our team, but they've been doing fine.
Sayla, Tiana, they were young last year for the MEAC tournament. Do you think that experience getting to the championship game and being close will benefit them? Also, how are they stepping up as leaders in their second year? Considering you lost, like when you lost Duke, sometime Ayanna Warren, I think she was like to me the heart and soul of the team last year. She was so tough. So how do you replace that type of leadership and how are these young players learning this season from that experience last year?
Yeah, it's definitely a gap we got to fill. We working through that, throughout the season. Of course, Sanaya's still a freshman at point guard. Of course, a lot of the leadership always comes down to the point guard, especially on the court. And but we did return a lot of experience from the past year, the year before. So we have young ladies that have been in that fire. They've been in some of them been in multiple championship games. You got somebody like Destiny. Destiny's been in championship game every year of her career. And so, I think she's averaging like 25 plus in championship games. So, when that time comes, I think that, with the experience that we have as a staff and the experience of our players, I think we'll be ready to make a run. I think that's an advantage for us. We kind of know when it gets to tournament time, we kind of know exactly what to do. We have the blueprint.
Speaking of Destiny, Destiny said recently that the mental health aspect is just as important as the physical coming off the injury. And I know on the men's side, they just announced that there's a increased focus for like their social initiative to focus on mental health. And I'm just wondering, as a coaching staff, how do you also address that with your players, especially players like Destiny and Kaya Creek who experienced major injuries?
Yeah, it takes a village. So, there is cohesion and communication between Coach Ty, our trainers, our sports psychologists. they all have a thread where they all communicate and everybody knows what's going on. And we also give them that resource that they can go to. Of course, they have to go to it and do it and execute it, but we do have a lot of resources available for them. So, I mean, they got our full support. They got our full support at all times. So, we try to keep things light with them and try to support them as much as we can.
All right.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I have a quick question. So,
Yes,
I'm looking at Destiny Howell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against Old Dominion, she just went off that game. 30 points. She had 9 boards. She and Zanaya Thomas each had 9 boards that game. But she also put up 20 shots that game, and she also connected on 5 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about her that sets her different than everybody else on the team? Is it just her leadership? Is it just her confidence in her game? Or is it a combination of all, or what?
Yeah, I think it's just, Destiny's a skilled player. I mean, she comes in with a lot of skill and a lot of ability. And, we put the weight on her to do a majority of our scoring. Mm-hmm. Of course, we like to share the ball and get other people to rock as well, and so they can score. But Destiny knows that she got the green light. Destiny got the green light. So
it's a lot of trust in her. You guys have a lot of trust.
We got absolute trust in Des. I mean, we took her as a pup. You know what I mean? We took her as a freshman. She's not a transfer. We've been with Destiny 5 years now. So we know her. We know her up and down. We know what she's good at. We know what she struggles with. So we try to put her in the best position. And she knows that we trust her with the ball. So we trust her good and bad. So we go ride with her.
Okay. Now, going against Norfolk, and no, this is not bad. Going against a team.
Shout out to Norfolk, man. They representing right now. You got to shout them out. 2 SEC wins.
Exactly.
They on their way to an historic season. So shout out to them. I've been a part of a lot of historic seasons in the MEAC. Yeah. Y'all know my history. Going back way back.
But here's the point about Norfolk, and you guys play them hard every tournament. It doesn't matter, and that's for all the marbles to be able to go to the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. How are you guys able to do that and affect them the way you have been able to do over the past 3 seasons that I watched you?
Yeah. I mean, they're probably our biggest rival in the conference, and that's what rivalries are made of. I mean, they beat us at their place, then we beat them at our place. Then we get to the tournament and anything can happen. So, when you know somebody so well, you kind of know what they're going to do and things like that. Then it just comes down to it's not the X's and O's, the Jimmy and the Joes, it's they come down to their guys, their guys going to make plays. And in the first matchup last Saturday, Diamond just made play after play, whether it was making shots or creating for a teammate, she just made plays to help her team, win that game. So she made the plays and won the game for them.
Yeah, special players. And I love the competitiveness of your squad as well as their squad. But I think, and I'm kind of partial to Howard because I still got some blood over there as well. So I wish you guys well, man.
Appreciate that.
Do you have a few minutes to stay with us?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break, guys. In 2 and 2, we'll be back with Coach Brian Davis of the Howard women's basketball team, assistant coach. We'll be back. You know.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
November is American Diabetes Month. And while nearly half of us have diabetes or prediabetes, every story is personal. There are stories of strength.
Every day is different. Not one day is the same.
Hard work.
No es tenerle miedo realmente a la enfermedad. Es saber cómo combatir la enfermedad.
And heartbreak.
When she passed away, it was because of diabetes.
But no matter your diabetes story, we fight for you and to find a cure. Join us at diabetes.org.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
And filing your taxes yourself, 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday. I love you. I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me to you.
I am genius.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
All right, we are back with Coach Brian Davis from the Howard University Bison Women's Basketball Program. Coach, what's your next step, man?
My next step? You said career? You talking about my career or
your career?
Life? Well, you know, I'm just trying to survive this these executive orders, man. Hopefully Trump don't write one about
I think we all with you on that one, Doc.
So I'm trying to survive some executive orders first. So
yeah.
You know, of course I strive to be a head coach. That's always the goal. You know, I feel like that I have the qualifications and experience to do so. And I think my time will come. And when that time comes, when that phone rings, I'll be ready. But until then, holding it down. Holding it down. You know, Coach Ty's held me down for so long, and so I can't do nothing less than make sure she's straight.
Okay. Look, I want you to get an opportunity because just listening to you, and I think we need more coaches like you in higher leadership opportunities to be able to affect young people, student athletes, and help them with their careers. And I can just immediately pick up on how well you're as a coach, just how you present yourself. So kudos, man.
Thank you.
Let's talk about what happened with the weekly honors. You got Diamond Johnson once again. We keep on mentioning her name, but there are two young ladies from NCCU. If you look at the young lady Johnson from NCCU, she had 24 points, and she had 3 steals, 8 rebounds. What is she doing as a grad student right now that's really pretty good in the MEAC that people need to pay attention to?
Yeah, you got her and Kyla Bryant, man. They can score. They can score. And that's what their coach over there has them do. You know, they got a up tempo style of play. You know, I was just telling the coaching staff the other day, man, like their style of play is tough because they just continue to get the ball and try to shove it down your throat, man. They don't see a shot that they don't like. And so and that goes all the way around, man.
That's not like Ray. That's what Ray used to do, man. Just jacking up.
Ray look like a ball hog, man. Swing it, Ray. Swing
like
that
Kobe.
joint, man. Ray ain't swinging nothing. He said no.
They call me old Trey. They call me old Trey Young. So you know I can still shoot it, brother. You know what I mean?
That shot
I ain't lost to Jay yet.
Yeah, them legs get a little tired, but that shot don't go nowhere.
That's the problem.
All half court now. We all half court, man.
That's right. No, for me, I'm much older than both of you guys. It's just give me the ball underneath the basket.
Right. And we playing to one. And I got the ball first.
There you go.
Kyle, you like how tall are you, Kyle? 5'6"?
No, man, 5'10".
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, 5'10", but I can put some body on you.
Yeah, man. Hey,
I back you
gotta
down.
use what you got. You gotta use what you got, baby.
That's right, man.
Yeah,
I ain't got no more hops, but I can stop you.
Yeah. But North Carolina Central has numerous scores that, on any given night can give you 20, and so that's what makes them scary. That's what makes them very scary to play. And they play very well at home. We ain't beat them at their place in a while. So
really, wow, okay,
yeah. I mean, their style of play, man. They just, they up and down the floor. They play a very exciting brand of basketball that's hard to guard.
Last year, y'all win a double overtime at Central. Or was that Howard? Y'all had two
We
overtime
we
games.
lost in overtime both times.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Overtime both times, man. It's just, they had a young lady last year that graduated that could light it up from three. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Kamira Burks. Was it Burks?
Yeah, Jameer Burks. Yeah.
Kamira Burks. Yeah.
She had like 4 threes from almost half court. So, that kid hurt us, but yeah, they tough, man. They gonna be a tough out.
But you got him in the tournament. Got him in the tournament though.
Yeah, like I said, it's not hard to motivate our kids once we get to the tournament. With the experience and the culture and the things that we put in place, and to try to prepare them for those moments. We've been in a lot of those moments, and so we know what it takes, and we don't try to overdo it. That's really one of the things. We just try to treat every game we prepare the same way that we do for every game. We just know it's gonna be a game, then a game, then a game. So we just try to keep everything the way it always is for every other game.
All right. Look, two young ladies also had great performances this past week. Sanaya King, she notched her 13th double-digit game of the season. She had 12 points, 6 assists, as well as 2 rebounds. And I know you spoke a little bit about her in the past conversation here, but how do you see her crucial for you guys going down the stretch?
Yeah, she's absolutely key to how we're gonna go. We're gonna go as she goes. Like I said, Destiny paces us. Getting the buckets here and there. She go get her touches, get her buckets, but our game goes through Sanaya King, and she's taking on that challenge well. She's a kid that's wise beyond her years, and every freshman has their moments. But we continue to support her, lift her up, and get that confidence in her. And you can see it on the tape, see it in the games. Once she get going, passing, scoring, she's hard to stop.
And Miss Miller, she had a double-double against Norfolk. Man, that's pretty good. 11 points and 12 rebounds. So she was grabbing the ball off the glass there for you.
Yeah, now I had that motor going. She created a lot of second chance opportunities for us. And, that's what Now does. We always talk about Now savvy. And that speaks to her basketball IQ. She just has a knack for the ball. She's always around the ball. And she's a good defender, can defend multiple positions. So, she's a nice utility player. You need a player like that on your team. You got to have a player like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, I love it. HBCU Pass say keep the main thing.
What up, HBCU Pass?
All right. Yeah, our friends over there at HBCU Pass.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Coach, any last thoughts, comments about why the people need to keep coming out and supporting the Lady Bison?
Yeah, I think that we represent our school and our program to the utmost degree. Our players play hard, they play smart, they play with confidence, and we're gonna need them to win. We're gonna need our fans, we're gonna need our supporters, we're gonna need our alumni, our boosters, everybody coming out to support these young ladies. I mean, they deserve it. They work very hard.
Yeah, definitely. And good luck to you guys, man. We will be watching. Of course, Ray will be there pestering everybody for our interview. And
yeah, Ray's a pest, man.
I try to be.
We got to ban Ray.
I try
to get Ray off the sidelines.
Ray's my guy,
man. Appreciate your support, man.
Ray is my guy.
Always supporting us, man.
Yeah, he does. But I'm gonna say this also. Good luck to you as well. If there's anything you need us to do to be able to help out with the Lady Bison, we would love to have you back right before a tournament if possible.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime y'all want me on, we can talk about anything. We can
All
talk
right.
about anything. We can talk about the Super Bowl, whatever whatever y'all want to talk about, we can talk about. I'm down.
Now, where are you originally from?
I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, to Rocket City.
Alabama, really?
Yep, home of them A&M Bulldogs.
That's what I was about to say. Why is it that they didn't try to nail you down over there in Huntsville?
You started.
I don't know.
I'm starting some stuff. Yeah.
Nah, man, don't start nothing, man. They got a great staff over there. They got my boy Tim Valentine on the staff. Me and Tim worked together when we were at Hampton.
Okay.
And you know, they're doing great. They're doing great over there. I mean, I support. I mean, a lot of my family members went there. So I mean, I got A&M gear right here in my house right now. So I wear it every now and then on an off day, throw my A&M gear on, and but you know, I like to support them as well. But yeah, shout out to them. You know,
all right, awesome. All right,
I'm ready for my call when it's ready.
All right, we're gonna get some word out about Coach Brian Davis. You guys listen up. He's the next rising coach out there in basketball. Period, not just women's basketball.
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love, man.
Thank you, Brian. We appreciate you.
All right.
We'll be back, guys, in a little bit, and we'll have our interview with Kendra Bulluck-Major, the executive director of the Orange Blossom Classic. We'll be back.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
November is American Diabetes Month. And while nearly half of us have diabetes or prediabetes, every story is personal. There are stories of strength.
Every day is different, not one day is the same.
Hard work.
No es tenerle miedo realmente a la enfermedad, es saber cómo combatir la enfermedad.
And heartbreak.
When she passed away, it was because of diabetes.
But no matter your diabetes story, we fight for you and to find a cure. Join us at diabetes.org.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
And filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah, I had a great teacher. Happy birthday. I love you. I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me to you.
I am genius.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
Okay, Ray, man, we are back.
You on the spotlight now, huh?
You are on the spotlight, my friend. And let's see if we can get everything even. There we go. All right. But we had that was a great talk, man. I think what he has been doing, his career, it'll be great to see him in that head coach position pretty soon. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I was joking with somebody before I came on, but they say light-skinned brothers stick together, and I get head coaching vibes from him, and I wanted to tell him, you know, when he gets that call, I want to be there to continue to chop it up with him, interview him, and support him in his journey, because he's really not just a great coach, but he's a great motivator of young people, and you can kind of see he's got a chill demeanor. Coach Grace, the head coach, I've seen her crash out a few times, but he's a stable force, man. I don't see her go off on the sideline, but he keeps everything in line, and just a good dude, man. And he deserves a shot, and I'll be looking forward to it. I saw it on him when I first met him, so it's coming.
All right. We will keep an eye out for his career progression as well. And any last thoughts about what's happening in the MEAC or what people should be able to key in on this coming weekend when we talk about some of the new games that are on the schedule?
Man, I tell you, the MEAC has been interesting this season.
It
Norfolk
sure
State
has.
obviously is first place, but they lost to Morgan State. Morgan State lost to Howard. Howard, on the men's side, they're injured big time, and it's going to be key for them to get healthy. But my sleeper this year is South Carolina State. I think come MEAC tournament time, 3 days, they're athletic, they play hard, and
You talking
they
about men's side or
on
women's
the
side?
men's side, South Carolina State on the men's side.
Really?
On the
Wow.
men's side, they're my sleeper this year because I feel like that experience against Delaware State last season is going to be crucial for them. Delaware State is another team that plays. I mean, they play to the final whistle or the final buzzer. And I love all of our coaches in the MEAC. I really think we have some of the best coaches in the country. Coach Waterman does a great job at Delaware State. That was Wole's sleeper last season, and they went to
It
the
sure
championship
was.
and
I
pushed
remember
Howard
that.
to the limit.
Yeah.
But I think South Carolina State is somebody to watch. Obviously, Norfolk State coach Robert Jones, he is somebody that always has that group ready to play. He has a brand new roster, and they're still the top dog. They always play well, especially in these mid-major games and outside of conference. But until you beat the man, which is Kenneth Blakeney, hey, Howard they have the crown, and they got to be defeated. And if they get healthy, then the Bison, of course, until somebody knocks them off, they're going to be the favorite.
Yeah. All right. This Saturday, your school, Maryland Eastern Shore, is going to have a showdown with Morgan State. How do you see that one?
Okay, so on the men's side,
no, this women's.
Oh, just the women's side. Okay, so the women's side, the Lady Hawks, as I like to call them, my school, if they cut down on the turnovers, they have the talent, they have the experience to be a really good team. Now, there's a player on Morgan State that was on UMES last year by the name of Janiyah Bannerman, and she's a critical part of what Morgan likes to do. She hasn't been healthy as of late, though, but Morgan is their team, that defensively, they're so strong. They struggle from the perimeter. If they get that together, there'll be a tough matchup for UMS. But I'm going with my school. And these ladies, they were on the brink of beating Howard 2 seasons ago. And that season, they feel like they could have pushed Norfolk for the MEAC crown. They still have critical players, including Mahogany Lester, Zamara Haynes on that team. So I'm going to go with my Hawks. They're starting to gel under their new coach. Shout out to Malika Willis, Coach Willis. So I'm going with UMS this weekend, of course.
All right. Compton State will be hosting Delaware State. What's your thoughts?
Coppin State is tough. If there's a team that you just want to pick to push the Norfolk States and the Howards of the world, it's going to be Coppin State. Coppin State, like I told Coach Davis, they were beating Howard for 3 quarters. And Coach Jermaine Woods does a great job. He's got a perennial all-star in Layla Lawrence, who, of course, she was critical in their big win over Arizona State early in the year. They also scored a big win over GW out of conference. They're the sleeper on the women's side, period. And I think that they're going to come out on top this weekend, and look out for them in the MEAC tournament for sure. And the rest of the MEAC regular season, if they stay healthy.
All right, and Norfolk State will host South Carolina State.
That's the David versus Goliath matchup for real, right there. Because South Carolina State, I think, has 2 wins on the season. They're improving. They're becoming more confident. But Norfolk State is real. We already know.
Yeah, well, they're the
self-explanatory.
All right, then your school, Eastern Shore, will be able to host Compton State on Monday.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because you got 2 teams.
And it's a 10 a.m. tip-off. That's early in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was getting ready to say maybe that was rescheduled from the snow, but that was the Howard UMS game that got rescheduled. Okay. I'm not sure why it's such an early tip, but UMS is still trying to figure it out on the men's side in terms of gaining continuity. I think that Casey Shaw has been a standout in the conference, though. He's been a surprise. Many weren't expecting. He has a brother on the team, too, who's moved into the starting lineup. So they're excited about the potential for what they can do. They can make some noise, but Coppin State is facing similar issues, but they seem to have a little bit more continuity. So that's going to be a tight game.
Okay. All right. So And I think Howard's playing NCCU on Saturday, right?
They play Hampton Saturday on the men's side. I'll be there Saturday. That game is posted to Howard's site, but I don't know where you're looking, but for some reason it's just showing up on ESPN and other
Yeah,
sites.
it's strange. Yeah. This is the MEAC site, and they have the wrong schedule. So
they play
anyway.
Hampton Saturday, and that's at a neutral site, kind of. It's in DC, but it's at the Entertainment and Sports Arena. That's the Mystics Arena. They'll be playing there.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. Any final thoughts on the MEAC this upcoming week?
I want to say, again, look out for Coppin State on the women's side. I think that they're going to be someone to contend with. And then on the men's side, South Carolina State, Coach Chennisberry, his effect on that school is rippling, man.
Really?
And they look good. They look good this season. I know they lost a close one to NCCU, but watch out. I'm telling you.
Wow. Okay. So on the SWAC side, this past week, they had honors where Alicia Fantroy, the transfer that came into the Texas Southern program, who really showed them stability, and it was her late game heroics that helped take them over the top against Alabama State, as well as she did very well against Alabama A&M. So she was the player of the week. Miss Dilworth of Jackson State University, she was the impact player of the week. And Fran Troy had double honors, as well as being the newcomer of the week for the SWAC women's side as well. So congratulations to her, and doing a tremendous job out there for Vernette Skeet, Coach Vernette Skeet. And she's excited, man. You saw they had the ladies pouring the Powerade on her after the game.
Man, I saw that.
I was like, look at her, man. And she's come a long way for that program. I'm here, and I've seen it, and I'm proud of what they have been able to accomplish. The players of the week on the men's side, Kavion McClain. He's a baller. If you guys don't know that name, Kavion McClain. That boy can run the point. He was the player of the week for the SWAC. And Milton Matthews from FAMU, the Raptors. He was the impact player of the week. And this is another baller, Mr. Deshaun Ruffin. When he can get it going from outside and drain those threes, watch out, baby. He's going to be a very, very good player in the years to come if they're able to keep him. If Mo Williams able to keep him. Same thing with Blake Harper, man.
Yeah.
How can they keep Blake Harper?
Howard is working. They're actively working on their NIL collective, so that's going to be beneficial. But also, he's a DC kid. Kenneth Blakeney is one that has put a lot of faith in him, recruited him hard, has a relationship with his father. And I think that relationship with his family and being close to home, I think that'll play a huge role. I don't think it'll be all about the NIL. Now, money does talk. So there's from what I heard, there are people actively wanting to pursue Blake Harper. It's happening now. And we knew that. And that's a good thing for him. But I still think Howard is in the driver's seat to keep him because of his family and because of some things he's experienced off the court. He's overcome a lot. He's a young man, and he's worked so hard to get his body in shape. And that experience at Howard has been a blessing to him. And I think that that'll factor in. But we'll see, man.
Ray, we need to get him on the program, Doc. See what you do, Coach.
I got you, man. I'll work on that. I'm serious. I'll work on that this week.
All right. You heard him, guys. We're going to get him because of Ray says so.
I got you. I got you. I got the inside scoop.
On Saturday, there's quite a few double-doubles going on. Grambling State is going to host Jackson State. Then you have Texas Southern hosting Prairie View. That's going to be a big one. Then Bethune-Cookman will take on Alabama State down in Daytona Beach, and FAMU will play Alabama A&M in Tallahassee. Alcorn State will travel to Baton Rouge, the Baby Dome. They're going to play there where the Jaguars are putting their record on the line against them. And then you have Arkansas Pine Bluff going against Mississippi Valley State University. Mississippi Valley State University hired Terrell Buckley. We didn't have a chance to talk about that. What's your immediate thoughts on his hire down in the Valley?
All right, so I'm going to age myself a little bit, but I grew up watching Terrell Buckley play, man. For the Packers, he was tough. and I know he's going to bring it as a coach. I love the hire. I really do. I think it's been lost with the Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick discussions amongst the HBCU landscape, but it's a solid hire, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. No doubt.
Yeah. I think it's a great hire, man. He wanted to be back home in Mississippi. His roots are from Mississippi. You talk about a college football Hall of Famer. We talk about a Super Bowl champion. We're talking about a guy who played the game at the highest level. And guys, that I think most of these hires that have occurred across the SWAC has kind of evened some things out over there, man. So we see some parity going on. The same thing with the MEAC, especially with the recruiting from Michael Vick as well as Deshaun Jackson. It's going to be
and Coach Berry. Coach Berry is recruiting too.
And that's what I was about to say, because a guy from Houston said, "Hey, don't forget Coach Berry." I've been watching some of the pickups and commits that they have been having, man. I was like, okay, so he's getting some notice from afar, guys. So that should be pretty interesting. All in all, Deion Sanders' daughter Shalomai, she is now a brand partner with Rihanna and Fenty. I know it's not Fenty, but I'm talking about Fenty brand. So congratulations to her. Texas Southern unveiled their new motor coach. They're riding in style down here.
Down your way, yeah.
Congratulations, Coach Granger. And that's about all we got to talk about on that side. But don't forget, HBCU Athletic Conference, they have signed a significant partnership. And for smaller conferences who don't have SIDs, and I had a chance to speak to the commissioner, Dr. Kiki Baker Barnes, and she told me, she said, one of the reasons why they signed this partnership with U Report is to be able to have them to gather their stats, start compiling their stats, make it digital for them, because they don't have SIDs in some of their programs. And it will help them. It would also help with some game reports and things to that nature as well. So as a journalist, you get worried when you hear something like that, but you still got to have the human element to be able to check and fact check, right? And dig deep. So I think this will help some of those struggling programs, but it's not something to totally rely on.
For sure.
Yeah. All right.
That's across the board, I think. We already know where, self-checkouts. We already know where society is going, but, the human side is definitely necessary.
Yeah, you got
that's why we here tonight.
We got robots all over the place.
Absolutely.
Robots here, robots there. If you guys hadn't not heard, gold medal winner as well as Olympian back in the late 70s and track and field legend Fred Newhouse was laid to rest here in the Houston area. He was a legend out of Prairie View A&M. He was in the Olympics where he won gold medal. I think it was for the relays as well as the 400. He also was I had a chance to have a conversation with him last year when Quincy Wilson was running in the Olympics. And he said that kid has a bright future. Be on the lookout for him, because he had a chance to be able to have conversations with him at the Olympics as well.
Did you see, by the way, I'm sorry, did you see
Olympic trials, I should say.
Did you see when Quincy Wilson went and
he lost
to Howard's? No, he went to Howard's basketball game, and he spoke to the team right before the Morehouse game.
Did he?
He was the captain of the day for Howard's men's basketball before the Morehouse game, and he gave an inspirational speech of how he lost recently, and that they got to continue to strive to win no matter who their opponent was.
Yeah,
and he went out and lost to Morehouse.
Dear old Morehouse, dear old Morehouse, we pledged our lives to thee. This is Dr. King right here, baby.
Shout out to Morehouse. I love Morehouse.
All right. Okay, guys. We can run a little bit long, but we're going to go into this interview with Kendra Bulluck-Major and listen to what she has to say. Ray, thank you for tonight. Appreciate you, my friend.
Absolutely. It was good. Appreciate you for being patient with me through the technical difficulties, but we made it work, and Light Skin Brothers won tonight. Coach Davis was on. He was dope, and HBCU basketball is looking good for us. So
it was DeBarge against Ohio players. So
there you go. I love it.
DeBarge. It was the Silvers against the Jacksons.
Don't let this light skin fool you. Like Bobby DeBarge said, I appreciate you. I really do. This
man,
was fun.
If you guys know anything, the DeBarge family was a highly, highly talented family.
Oh yeah.
And y'all sleeping on Bunny DeBarge, but that was a classic.
Love Bunny. Don't forget about Bunny either.
That's right. All right, guys. Let's go into this interview. Ray, appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right. All right, HBCU fans, it's time already. No, it's not time for football, but it seems like it's time for football. We just left football. We're in basketball, but we got Kendra Bulluck-Major here to talk to us again about what's going to happen with the Orange Blossom Classic. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. So how's everything in Florida right now?
Oh, it is wonderful. You know, I hate to talk about the weather, especially when I'm talking to people in other parts of the country, but
yeah, we just had a snowstorm down here, so
yeah. So, you know, when I said, oh wow, we were in the 60s today, that was that didn't go over well with somebody that was like in the middle of a snowstorm. So but yeah, it's beautiful. I'll just say that.
Okay. All right. We just leave it right there.
Yeah.
So look, I know you got some exciting news for us. It's that time where you guys make the announcement of who is going to be in this year's Orange Blossom Classic. So take it away.
Well, we are gearing up for 2025 Orange Blossom Classic, and we are excited to welcome, number one, the return of Florida A&M University.
Oh, the Rattlers.
Yes, the Rattlers are back. And of course, given the fact that, you know, we were on a 1-year hiatus and now they have returned, we thought that it was only fitting that we honor the original 1933 Orange Blossom Classic, which was a matchup against Florida A&M University and Howard University.
Wow.
So we are running this back all the way to the 1933 game, and we're welcoming Howard University. And of course, also running it back from the 2023 Celebration Bowl.
Wow, really? Look, I mean, so there's a lot to be able to pit Howard, the Bison, as well as the Rattlers together. Good history lesson. I didn't know that was the first one that started. Why was this so significant and so important to be able to have that MEAC-SWAC matchup, but it's still the old MEAC going against one another as well?
That's right. So, you know, there is a storied history, there's a rivalry there, and there's legacy. Our theme this year is built on history and fueled by pride. So we have two institutions that have a lot of pride in not just their football programs, but their universities as a whole. And so they definitely fit what our 2025 theme is for this year. So, and again, can't deny the fact that there's a storied history there. And, you know, Howard fans are excited. They are, you know, looking for that get back from 2023. And interestingly, you know, the matchup in 1933, FAMU won. It was the final score was 9-0. And then they played a second time in the Orange Blossom Classic in the mid 1970s. That was actually FAMU won that contest with a 4-point lead. And so Celebration Bowl, same thing. 4 points, decided that they would be the national champions. So, you know, Howard has always been right there, almost there. So they're looking forward to this.
I don't know if you can say nipping at the Rattlers' heels, but or tail or whatever you want to call it, right? But they've been right there. So,
right there.
I mean, this is a great matchup. You still have Coach Larry Scott over for the Rattlers, for the Bison, and you have Coach Cozy over with the Rattlers. I know Coach Cozy kind of spilled the beans a little bit about the matchup possibly happening a few days ago in the podcast. But
well, actually, Coach Simmons did.
Oh, it was Coach Simmons who did
Coach
that.
Simmons, right?
Oh,
right. So
see,
yeah, can't blame that one on Coach.
all right, all right. All they told me was, FAMU coach said something. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Then I had a whole bunch of Bison texting me this morning and say, hey, man, is this gonna? I'm like, okay. So.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it's good to be able to have those two story programs being able to get into this matchup. How important was it for AD Suggs to be able to help make this happen once again? Because you know she has Rattler blood in her, and just coming into this situation, and I know you wanted to get them back into the fold. So how important? How did that really happen?
It was very important, you know. And you know the history of this. This game was something that took many years for us to revive. And you know, VP Suggs having, you know, being an alum of FAM, having worked for many years in their athletic department during the time that we were working to revive the game initially, she was very well aware of the history of this game, what it meant to the, you know, what it meant to Rattler Nation, what it meant to FAMU. And then, of course, during her time with the Florida Sports Foundation, she was always an avid supporter of this game. And so, you know, she was at every single Orange Blossom Classic as a partner, as an alum, as a sponsor, and really had an opportunity to see the student athlete experience, had an opportunity to see what it brought for, you know, our economic impact. And of course, with just sports, you know, her background with the Florida Sports Foundation, that's very important, you know, from an economic standpoint with her previous position. And so when she came into her position as the athletic director, it was a no-brainer, you know, from day one. She, you know, from even, I think before she got in the office, before she got in her seat, it was, no, we're going to get this done. And it just went back to, you know, again, her previous tenure with FAMU, understanding, you know, that it takes people, the right people in the room to work together and make things happen. And so, you know, it was a lot of moving parts because they did have some games scheduled. Yeah. But, you know, her determination, along with the Board of Trustees and the National Alumni Association president, you know, they really assured me that they were coming back to what we consider their home away from home.
Speaking of that, last year was a great matchup, NCCU versus Alabama State. Mm-hmm. But did you guys have a feel like there was something missing about not having one of the classic programs a part of this?
Definitely. So, you know, Alabama State, great program. You know, we've talked about how many kids that they have recruited from this area. You know, North Carolina Central, what Coach Oliver is building over there is very impressive. And we were very fortunate to have two amazing teams. Now, it's not lost on anyone that this was the first time in the history of the Orange Blossom Classic that FAMU was not in the game. The game was started by, you know, the athletic director in 1933, that, you know, was on the campus of FAMU. And so it was extremely important that we got back to what we knew. You know, I was determined, and you and I spoke about this the moment that the previous administration made the decision that they were not going to return. You cannot work for something so long and then just see it go away. It's a lot more difficult to revive it, you know, once you've had that break. And so, you know, we were determined that for 2024, we were going to move forward, and Alabama State, North Carolina Central stepped up, you know, and I told people all the time, like, you know, we define success in more ways than just attendance. We define success by what it does for the student athletes. We define success by what our television viewership looks like. And so those were two amazing programs that were a part of this event at a very pivotal time. And so grateful to them, but definitely, you know, did feel like there was something missing because it was different. It was different. And so, you know, now, and it was different for everyone. You know, it wasn't just different for South Florida or the people who had attended. It was different for, again, the administration at FAMU now, you know, because it was kind of like, you know, watching something from the outside in. saying, wait a minute, I should be in there. So, it was something that was felt on both sides. So
it felt like Orange Juice Jones watching his girlfriend walk through the rain with someone else.
Literally in the rain. Right. Yes, literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, hey, man, that ain't supposed to be happening.
Right. Yeah.
But I get it. Talk about this, because you also have the partnership with the Disney company, the ESPN events, as well as ABC, helping out with this in year number, was it 5?
Right, year number 5.
Year number 5, man. Time passed so quick, Kendra.
I know, that's a half a decade, right? Yeah.
Well, look, but year 5,
I've aged a decade, but it's been a half a decade.
No, girl, you still look good. You still look good. But seriously, man, think about this. We talk about 5 years. You had Coach Prime a couple of years. Then you had Will Simmons taking it over. Then you had last year NCCU, Trey Oliver, and those guys won. And now you're back to FAMU. Could be Coach Cozy, or could be Coach Scott. We don't know what's going to happen. But all in all, those fan bases, how do you think it's going to help energize those fan bases to be able to support you guys? And is it going to be on the Labor Day weekend like you've had before?
Yes. So it definitely will be on Labor Day weekend. This year, the game is set for Saturday, August 30th.
Saturday now. Okay. Yes. All right.
Saturday matchup. And, I think the fan bases are going to respond well. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. And again, both sides are looking for that, Howard is looking for that get back, and FAMU is looking to defend what they've done over the last few years. And so, of course, the two coaches both have, Coach Cozy is actually from South Florida. So they have, a history here in South Florida. Coach Scott is excited to get back here. He coached, as you know, at the University of Miami for some time.
Wow.
And he's recruited, in this area, even at Howard. So, they have a quarterback that was, from Broward County down here. So he understands. And that's what we always want. He, just like Alabama State last year, people, especially the coaches and the universities, when they understand the significance of being in South Florida, that resonates with the fan base, that resonates through the university. So they're excited. I think they're going to respond well. And again, it's Miami, it's Labor Day. So as long as I can help it, we'll never give up that Labor Day slot.
Look, it's going to be great. That Labor Day is going to be jam-packed, full of football, new kickoffs all across the country. But to have that back there on a Saturday is different, because you usually had that Sunday spot to yourself.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
How do you think that's going to impact you guys?
So I think we'll be good. I think fans will find that, in some ways it will work in their favor, because now you have that Sunday, you have that Monday, as it relates to travel and just enjoying the weekend. Right. And, we've got a lot of really good things planned. So we did have to move some things up a day. But, one of the reasons that, I think Coach Simmons kind of teased it, not really teased it, but kind of put the information out there is because, he's here now in South Florida as the head coach of FIU. FIU will open up that same weekend with Bethune-Cookman. And so,
wow, I didn't know that. So it's a back-to-back.
Correct.
HBCU with some HBCU blood over at FIU now.
Exactly. So, we're planning some really special things for Cookman and FIU and, for Rattler Nation, so that they can celebrate Coach Simmons and so that they can welcome, Coach Cozy back into the OBC. So it's going to be a great weekend. I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised about what we're planning.
And still, will you guys have the Battle of the Bands the night before and things in the concerts and things to that nature?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yep.
Anything new that we should be on the lookout for?
So not yet that, I'm able to nothing that has been solidified. So as we move closer, I'll come back on and we'll kind of give a rundown of what the week of events look like. But it's going to be a good time.
And when you have Kyle Mosley there, who's been asking you to help. No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely. Always. Yes. Always.
All right. Well, good.
So
good.
You have been a supporter. You've been kind to us. So
I'm right there, man. Look, those Rattlers, they get to me every time I have a negative story out.
So you don't want to
You
go.
can't tell us we lost. You can't tell us we lost.
Right. I don't care what the score was. We won some way. now I know what you saw as far as the scoreboard said, but we had a win over here.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. So. I think the last time you and I
So I trust everyone's read the prospectus.
Mm-hmm.
Lance? Why don't you take us through it?
Let's get into the prospectus.
Okay.
I am genius.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
To the inconsiderate monster who has been stealing my pudding,
I hope your conscience eats at you as you have eaten my pudding. Bring my pudding back. I wish you the worst, Dale.
Beautiful words. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I am genius.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
Saw one another was at the Alabama State homecoming when the Rattlers went in and defeated those guys, the Hornets, at homecoming. That was not too pleasant for the Hornet Nation, but that was a great game.
Well, you know, VP Suggs had just told them a couple days before that FAMU wins all homecomings. It doesn't matter who it is. So
my God.
She said we do not lose homecomings, theirs or ours. So
yeah. Look, I tell you, man, Coach Cozy was excited, and as well as the Rattler Nation was really excited. Good game. All right. Any last thoughts that we need to talk about? Any last comments as well about the upcoming matchup?
No, I just want to let everyone know, as always, log on to our website, orangeblossomclassic.com, so that they can get all of the information as it becomes available. We'll have, information regarding tickets, suites, information regarding hotels. So, just stay with us by way of social media, by way of our website, so that you can stay abreast of everything that's going on. And I thank everyone for their support.
And how can businesses get involved as far as sponsorship is concerned?
So that information is on the website as well. If you click on the sponsor tab, it gives you the email address to send any requests that you have for sponsorships to that email address, and we respond promptly.
Okay. Quick question. Are we going to be seeing a new title sponsor, possibly?
That is correct. Yes. So we do anticipate announcing that information in the coming weeks as well.
Okay. All right. Well,
So
good, good.
we have quite an interest, which again that speaks to just the brand itself. So really excited about that.
Well, you've done a tremendous job as always. I can't say enough of the well orchestrated, laid out plan that you guys have, and you guys executed very well as well. Now, I do have one question. When it comes to the time, will it be still in the afternoon, or is it going to be an early kickoff, later kickoff? How's that going to work?
So we don't have that information yet. Of course, the time slot is determined by ESPN. What I can say is that we don't anticipate being any earlier than what we have been in the past. So yeah, no worries with that. But the exact time will probably be released in the spring once ESPN has released that information.
All right, guys, y'all have a chance to be able to get your tickets to the 2025 Orange Blossom Classic down in Miami Gardens at the Hard Rock Stadium, which is going to be a site for a lot of great active games this year. Like you mentioned, Coach Simmons and those guys at FIU. It's the Orange Blossom Classic. You guys kick everything off, and I think it's going to be a tremendous year again. Kendra, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. That's Kendra Bulluck-Major. I'm Kyle T. Mosley at HBCU Legends. All right, guys, we are ending the show, but before we end the show tonight, go and support the Orange Blossom Classic. That's going to be a good one. If you're in the Miami area, South Florida area, or if you just want to go down and have a great time for Labor Day weekend, that's the place to be to check out what's happening at the Orange Blossom Classic. Here in the Houston area, we lost a good guy, man. Good guy in media, Jerry Lee Whitley Jr. He covered Texas Southern, Rice, University of Houston, Prairie View. He was at most major events, and he taught me how to sneak into a couple of stadiums. But his presence is going to be missed, man. And he's one of the good guys in media altogether, and I'm going to miss him. And he had an impact on a lot of lives in the Houston area. So prayers to Jerry's family, as well as the friends and colleagues across the Houston area. All right. Don't forget, go to hbculegends.net. You can be able to follow all of our HBCU Legends content, HBCU sports content as well, right there on Sports Illustrated's site. And we're on all the social media platforms as well. Also, Black Sports Insiders is on all the social media platforms as well. So check everything out through those content providers. HBCU Plus is a partner with us, as well as Urban Edge Network. They're a partner with us as well. All right. As the pastors say, if all hearts and souls are okay, it's time to dismiss. Raise your right hand. No, we're not going to raise your right hand. We're just going to have a great time. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll be back on Tuesday night. I have a family trip to be able to honor a dear family member of mine, Jessie Mae Bryant Christoph. She passed away at the age of 97. She was the matriarch of our family. She was a person who meant a lot to me. She spent months with us after Katrina. She lived in my home, and she just gave us a lot of love and a lot of wisdom. And I miss her dearly. But her spirit is here, and spirit is with all of us. She's a HBCU grad, and she's also one of the people who taught hundreds of young people to be able to get and further their educations in life. Over 30 years as an educator in the St. Charles Parish school systems in Louisiana. I'm Kyle T. Mosley. You guys have a great rest of the weekend. We're trying to have some reports on Saturday. We will be covering the Prairie View versus Texas Southern game at HP&E Arena. Hope to see you there. Come see us, talk to us, chat it up with us. Be there with Coach, as well as we'll be there with Ralph Kuba from KCOH AM in Houston. Listen to Ralph every week. He's a legend, guys. You don't know that? Now you know. Take care. Have a great night.